drop a dime on them niggas.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta stop it.
I don't like that shit.
For sure, bro.
I don't like that shit.
I'm gonna cancel this lady. I ain't do a counsel in so long. She's getting evicted. But you never just call somebody out without no kind of, you don't got no structured evidence to call somebody to the police. That's a big no-no. You can't do that. But listen to these people, bro. It's like they got some kind of agenda. Check this out.
I'm going to say Tariq Nasheed is a grifter. What is a grifter? A grifter is a person who engages in petty or small-scale swindling. We're all hustling. You think I'm going to be up here talking on YouTube and not get paid and not be monetized? He's monetized.
I mean, let me read some of the comments that these people did. Shout out to Nia, always holding it down. She said, Dana can't be trusted. She's too close to that Judge Joe Brown. She's been on Tariq tip for a minute. Exactly. Now, this Bufugu says, I think you have a misunderstanding of FBA, brother. There are millions of FBA. Lots of FBAs are Democrat. Lots of FBAs are violent. Some people are talking against FBA or FBA themselves. FBA is not a group. Why, when they gave us the title African American, if anybody, you're going to say Jesse Jackson ain't right. Why ain't nobody questioning the African American term that they gave us that's owned by some white people? The term. This is what you got to ask them. They're going to accept that. They're going to accept Jesse Jackson. But now they're going to call all of us divisive. The white man said you African American, and they got Jesse Jackson to say that. And somebody came along and said, we ain't going by that name, and we going by FBA. And now it gets a lot of hate. Does that tell you something? Nobody got this much hate when we was calling ourselves African American. Let them cook.
FBA, he trademark it. He sell merchandise for a profit. Now he chooses to highlight the importance of Black lineage and Black culture and Black history because he has done that in his hidden history documentaries. And I appreciate that. I buy all of his documentaries and they're very good documentaries. But make no mistake about it, you have people like Professor James Small validating those very said documentaries. Because if it was not for having Professor James Smalls in your documentaries, then it wouldn't be validated. It wouldn't be verified.
Do you hear this crap? So she's putting everything on James Smalls, and I did a little research on him, but he's not, I don't know a guy like that.
Tariq mentioned something that's important, delineation language. Now, I did not know this, but shout out to Brother George Macon over at Street Media TV, and he actually had receipts of this delineation language from Professor James Small.
We allow people to have us deny our identity as African Americans, while other Africans come from other places and try to assume that identity for economic reasons and political reasons, and yet do not ally themselves with the African American in most instances. That those immigrant African community tend to ally themselves with the European American, not understanding what the historical relationship between the African American and the European American is, or the war, the cultural war and the spiritual war and the economic war and the political war that still exists between those two communities. So when you're an African from another place and you come and say, well, I can't get caught up in that, I'm here to make money, then you ally yourself with someone I'm at war with and wonder why I treat you a certain way. So you need to understand what you have just done. Besides disrespecting me in my country, something I would never do to you in your country. I would not go to Senegal and choose the side of the French against you. I would not come to Jamaica and choose the side of the Brits against you. So why would you come to America and choose the side of the white American for whatever reason, economic, political, cultural, or whatever, against me and my interests, and then tell me I'm unwelcoming to you? I welcome my friends and my brothers and sisters. I do not welcome my enemies, whether they look like me or not.
FBA is not an organization. It's not a 501c. It's not political aligned. It's not.
So that tells you something. If that tells you something, that means the people is deciding. The people who are FBA and there's people that have no ties. Like, bro, I don't got no ties to Tariq Nasheed. I know my brother Black Alpha Network ain't got no ties. I know content creators out here that they don't. He just trademarked the name as I would want a black person to do. I would want one of us to be owning what we're doing.
Smart enough to not organize it. It's a hashtag that he's profiting off. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because the message is very clear. And it is.
Do y'all hear this contradiction? It's like y'all just creating chaos. This lady just said there's nothing wrong with it. If there's nothing wrong with it, then why is he a grifter? Why is you calling this man a grifter, bro? You got to be canceled for that. There's no reason why you going to call somebody out, spray their name, and you going to take on your channel, there's nothing wrong with this. He's giving out information, giving out knowledge. It's like, I'm going to have to cancel her, bro. I'm going to have to cancel her.
Necessary. It is. And it's very important.
Listen to this.
Because we need to get reacquainted and educated on our lineage, on our history, on our culture, because it's been a complete disconnect. And the whole fight on why FBA, hashtag FBA is saying, okay, delineate is really derived out of reparations. Because reparations here in America are only for Black Americans. Whether you want to call yourself freedmen, ADOS, or FBA, it's the reparations conversation as to why we are here today, as to even why we have hashtag FBA. So it is necessary. But it's not wrong with me saying he's a grifter because that's what grifters do. Now, to call him a swindler.
No, it is something wrong with you calling him a grifter. You got to call yourself a grifter. It's just super contradicting. For real, man. Happy holidays to everybody. Dana sounds so stupid. She sounds so stupid, bro. Like she shouldn't even did this video. She lost all credibility, in my opinion, by what you talk.
You know, maybe that's too extensive, but the fact is that you're making money because you are a content creator. Tariq Nasheed is a content creator. He's not a historian. He's not a freedom fighter. He's not an intellect. He's not a scholar. He is a content.
That's not a freedom fighter. What are you talking about? This man is he's putting in his work. You got to respect what he's doing. This is weirdo behavior that this lady. You right, bro. This is weirdo behavior, bro. To call a man out and call him a grifter for trying to stand on his business. Let me hear what this guy say. Shout out Call Dog. He put she's delusional. FBA and Pan-Africanism isn't synonymous. FBA is equivalent to Jamaicans or Mexicans or Koreans, etc. We are the Black Americans whose family never immigrated here. The Negroes, the freedmen, the slaves. Right. I mean, I'm with you on that. It's just a term, bro. You know, it's just a term that he's giving that somebody from our lineage named ourselves. See, when you call yourself African or when you call yourself any of them terms that somebody else gave them that term. It's okay that we want to respect somebody that's holding our term down, that we're going to stand with our own. But y'all trying to attack the man, it shows me that y'all got some kind of agenda.
Creator. He is a he create documentaries. He's in media. He's no different from what I'm doing. He's just doing it at a larger scale. And the content he chooses to talk about is Black history, Black.
She is a grifter. She is a grifter. That's what she's exposing. How are you comparing yourself to this man, bro? Why are you comparing yourself to this man? She's basically saying he's doing the same thing she's doing, which I totally disagree. I don't know what this lady be on. I've seen her a couple videos. She's saying some stuff, but
lineage and Black culture. And there's nothing wrong with that. but say it for what it really is. So when you want to go and disrespect a man like Professor James Smalls, who did not disrespect Tariq Nasheed, he did not even say Tariq Nasheed.
James Smalls disrespected the lineage with what he created. To say that FBA, right, has some CIA in it without no proof, you can't say nothing. You just guessing and you trying to pull from somewhere where you ain't got nothing. You just trying to say that it's some kind of CIA involvement. That's wrong, bro. That's disrespectful. You feel me? That's very disrespectful. That's just like, bro, it's disrespectful in the street. If you in the streets, bro, and you ain't never told on nobody and you been a stand-up guy and you got a bozo that's gonna say, bro, I don't know, man. I don't like, man, I think he the police, bro. He the police. And you ain't got no paperwork or nothing. You deserve that's out of pocket. That's disrespectful, bro. You messing with somebody's name, bro. People in the streets not gonna deal with you if they believe what you're saying. You're putting out misinformation. You put everything seems to be trivial, bro. Old dude straight said he's a fed. So yeah, disrespect. Yeah, so it's like that ain't disrespectful. What's up, Jarvis? Salute, brother. That's disrespectful to me, man. You can't call nobody the police, bro, and you just calling them the police and you ain't have nothing. That's a violation, bro. We know that.
He was part of the CIA or part of COINTELPRO. He didn't even say that. But I am going to play what Professor Small says, but I want to start off with Tariq.
Thing with James Small, I know a lot of people are talking about that. You know, James Small, Professor James Small. A lot of people have been on his bumper because he was very, very disrespectful to the lineage, very disrespectful to me. And yeah, he said some little disrespectful stuff before, and I kind of let it slide. I didn't, I'm like, okay. He's in the new movie that we're working on, Hidden Color 6. And basically what it looks like, because James Small, he was one of the main people talking delineation language. All right. He was one of the first people talking that. He knows what it is. What it looks like.
So if he was one of the main people talking delineation, we know how COINTELPRO really works. Even with the Black Panther Party, I got to pull up that group that they started to fund to go after the Black Panther Party. They start with inside people who are already tied in. This is how they're going to self-destruct. And we seeing that. So somebody is working with the CIA. For us to be getting all of this hate by just naming somebody, it shows me that it's more than just people.
Like some of that African tour money might be drying up, because a lot of these he's a Pan-Africanist. And a lot of these cats, they make their little money with those African tours. I think he's going on one in December. They take people over to Africa. So that shit is drying up. That's their little hustle, and that shit is drying up. Because
a lot of people was online saying they ain't doing that Ghana thing is a scam. A lot of people moved to Ghana, bro, and got scammed. And they telling people like, yeah, man, people got messed up going over there to Ghana, moving over there. A lot of scams happen. This is real. Not, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people was going on YouTube saying that this has nothing to do with FBA. This has to do with when people went over there to Ghana and he was over there, it got bad publicity. It got bad publicity because people was getting robbed. Now he has to deal with that because he got business over there. I think they said he got a hotel over there. He does tour. So it's like, if people feel like it's scammy over there, they're not going. Let me let them go.
Because people are delineating. So, and a lot of ops are in his ear. But the thing is, some people were like, well, yeah, some of the ops got Cisco if you don't stop. But yeah, like I said, I'm not. It's to me, it ain't even a big deal. I'm not going to even make a big deal about it, because it is what it is. It is what it is. But look, delineation. Some people feel like it's drying up their little money. You know, it's drying up people's money. It's drying up their income, and hey, that's what it is. We keep it pushing. I've never disrespected that man, ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever. But what we're not going to do, I'm not going to sell out the lineage for a couple of Negro pennies so I can do a couple of tours or sell some DVDs overseas or whatever. Yeah, I guess his little African tour money, I guess you don't want to mess that up. I'm not that dude, man. Y'all not, look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a generic African. All right. If that's what you want to do, knock yourself out. I'm not pretending to be a generic African.
Well, my thing is, what do FBA do that you can kind of align them with the CIA or the FBI? I don't see nothing that anybody, like, you can say that people were just saying stuff on the internet, but what people say, everybody's saying stuff on the internet. Like, what would make somebody say that what this man is doing, or how he coined this, is he's the CIA, he's the Fed.
And you know better. You understand? Because listen, I talked about this last night on Twitter Space. Listen, people trying to cling to that generic African thing, that's an escape hatch from responsibility and power. You see, when you acknowledge that you are the foundation of this country, and that you are foundational Black American, and that you owe homage and respect to your lineage, now you got responsibilities. You got to step up and protect your lineage. You got to start setting standards. You got to get out here and put in some work, which is what a lot of our young folks are doing out here with lineage-based advocacies out here. You understand? So the thing is, man, a lot of these people who's on that Pan-African thing, and there's foundational Black Americans who's on that, who's, being a foundational Black American is a lineage. All right, it's a lineage. That's it. So you can be whatever you want to be.
You can scam however you want to scam. You can be Dr. Umar Johnson. You can be all of this. But what we know is this is a fact. You can't knock this, right? We don't know a Pan-Africanism doing anything. We don't know them doing anything. We don't know nothing that a Pan-Africanism has did that had any significance. Anybody name, like, they never named us anything. We know about the Black Panther Party. We know about the stuff that was done in America. All I'm saying is, what has Pan-Africanism done? All we seen was grifters in the Pan-Africanism movement. That's all it has been. Ghana, they talking about go back to Africa. It's a dude got a YouTube channel called Go Black to Africa. And he was doing all of this go black. And then he said he had to tell all his followers, he may have made a mistake. Africa is corrupted. A lot of Black people robbing Black people. I'm telling y'all experience with people that went over there, bro. FBAs that went over there is telling you that, bro, is real wicked. It's real cut though. Right? Ain't nobody, why ain't they telling us this and keeping it real and letting us know, bro, this is where, brothers get robbed. Your people is robbing your people. Well, people that look like you. Let me see what Jarvis got to say. He said, "No, Tariq going to have to show proof that Professor Smalls was talking delineation, who always been on Pan-African tip. Who always been on Pan-African tip. Yeah, he always been on the Pan-African tip. But I'm saying there's a lot of people been saying how they been getting robbed. Foundational Black Americans going to Africa, Ghana specifically. It's people, bro. It was a woman that went over there and got in the whole, like, they kicked her out of Ghana. It was a foundational Black American woman was getting into it. And they say, you got to leave. This man got more ties to being a CIA than anybody. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, bro. He could have just kept what he doing and pushing his agenda. But you even mentioning that word, and you got ties to businesses over there, and you got, you trying to push people over there to go to tours. You say Black Alpha Network did them. Business ventures that links FBA. Exactly. Like you was cool with Tariq Nasheed. You've been on his movies, on his documentaries. Now you just gonna come with this sideways stuff. We know that James Smalls got ties to the government, y'all. It's just a fact, Black Alpha Network showed us this, just like I did a video on Charleston White, got ties to the 501c3s, government agencies. These guys are that, bro, and they're agents of chaos. If you see somebody come out and they trying to create some chaos, they're suspect. I don't trust them. They suspect.
But do you have traitors within FBA? Absolutely. And that is what Professor James Smalls was.
Who is the traitors? Y'all can't do. How can you call somebody a traitor, right? In an organization, right? It ain't even an organization. It's a hashtag. What are they trading against? What are you talking about? Who is the traitors? Jarvis put, she's silly. You don't have to be an organization to have power. What traitors? I mean, the only traitors I could see is people that is going to, they're going to try to force us back into a African society, or try to pin us back to Africa to say, you weren't on this land. I slowed down on the canceling stuff because I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But at some point, y'all, we gonna have to let everybody know that these people voice and what they talking about, it needs to be disregarded. Their card has been took. You no longer have a voice speaking on our people. She's getting evicted.
Delineate. What does that look like? What is your plan? Tariq is not giving you a plan because he's not a leader.
Exactly.
And he said it. But you want to sit up here, and because he went,
we're not obligated to give you a plan online. We're not obligated to do that. We don't trust you right now. So we don't have to put our plan online for everybody to freaking see. We don't want y'all knowing what our plan is. We don't want you. We don't want you understanding what we're doing, because we seeing how you coming at us like this. What you talking about, AI?
Live talking about some, well, Professor Smalls disrespected me. You want to automatically side with him. You could, I'm not saying that you have to sit up here and agree with Professor Small. Disagree. But what you will not and cannot do is discredit and try to say, oh, he's the problem. He's jealous. He's grifting. No. He's hustling, or he's a Pan-African. He's always been one. And Tariq Nasheed still had this man in his documentaries since Hidden Colors 1. And now you upset because he said there are some FBAs who are probably getting a check from the government. Is that a lie?
I mean, we know of who the people are who are probably working with the government. They've been working with they've been trying to keep us down. We know that. But why don't you call some names out? Why don't you say something of who the people are? It's like you trying to put it on our lineage instead of trying to put it on the people who they're connected with, because they're people in politics. You can call out the Boule people that's running that. Some of them are FBA. Like, what is you saying? You're not saying anything. Are you trying to discredit the lineage? Are you trying to discredit the movement that we trying to make? Like, who is the police? Who is the feds that you talking about? Look at what these people are saying to her in her comment section. What a lack of comprehension skills got you to that conclusion. Either you didn't watch the video or new to this. Smalls clearly said that, and that was not the first time he disrespected him. And the fact that you said FBA is only online lets me know you are not out here. And the proven snakes from our community were Pan-African. That also lets me know that you getting involved with this because you are absolutely wrong. Wow. And she put, give me the timestamp where he said Tariq was a CIA agent. Bro, they just killing her. He put Joe Brown probably smashing. Man, they killing her in the comment section, bro. I'm finna put out.
You are totally dependent on other people to take care of your needs because you don't have those roots sunk into the ground. To have a community, you must have three things to have a community in it. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can provide goods, service, products, and things for your own people, and jobs and tax spaces for your own people. You should at least control 4 basic things. You should be trying to control water, food, medicine, and energy to be able to survive.
Here we got Mr. Pollock. He had a cornfield. He took advantage of a free water test from us, and this is what we found in this water. We found sulfur, we found hardness, and we solved these problems with an easy fix of 2 tanks. So get your free water test today. Stay blessed. Click the link below.